Here we are back with more Management Live. We'll be on Leadership 2016. Now we'll listen to a real disruptor. Aaron Hurst has developed a crucial concept to understand how business is changing: the purpose economy. He explains that, in fact, purpose is becoming the basic driver of innovation and the most important motivator of people inside organizations of every kind. Let's listen to this passionate and super interesting man.
I'm excited to be here talking about purpose and the purpose economy. And I'm going to share with you my research, share with you what we've learned, not about purpose as a form of poetry, but purpose as a form of economics and purpose as a form of science. So you guys ready? So my uncle, Mark Peratt, was an economist at Stanford University in Palo Alto, California. And he coined the term information economy in his thesis. And he predicted that the information economy would surpass the industrial economy. He wrote a 9-volume dissertation in which he laid out how the economy had evolved from an industrial manufacturing economy into an information economy. And this was really the inspiration behind my book. I personally never read anything that has 9 volumes. It's way too long. So I never read his dissertation, I have to be honest. But I have the good fortune of being able to talk to him and understand his core thesis and why he believed the economies were shifting. And I try to summarize in one slide here what I understood about why economies change. And what I learned was there's a big connection between biology, evolution and biology, and economics. I never understood that as a student or an entrepreneur, but biology and economics are very interconnected. We began millions and millions of years ago as apes running around the planet. And over millions of years, we evolved into Homo sapiens. And one of the things that really defines Homo sapiens compared to other species is that we're impatient bastards. We're incredibly impatient. And this whole evolution thing was taking too damn long. We weren't willing to sit around for millions of years waiting to improve our quality of life, to increase our lifespan. Evolution was too slow. And we said, why don't we hack evolution to have the benefits, but be able to manipulate nature, manipulate our environment to be able to have the same benefits. And it began with the agrarian economy. We learned how to use animals and land, and we settled down. We're no longer nomads. And in the process of creating this economy, we saw that it had the same benefits as evolution. We lived longer, and our quality of life went up, right? But that wasn't good enough for us. Again, we're impatient. We weren't willing to wait around. And we saw a bird flying up in the sky. And we said, ooh, I want to be a bird. I want to be able to fly. Do you know how long it would take through evolution to grow wings? 3.4 trillion years. Does anyone believe me? Good. I made that up. There's no way I could know how long it would take for you to... and that's a warning for this whole 2 days. Make sure you use your brain. Don't just listen to us up here. So we said we wanted to fly. And we created the industrial manufacturing economy. We built airplanes. We built factories. We built cities. We did what was unimaginable through evolutionary terms, to be able to actually fly, to be able to build cities, and to be able to manipulate large amounts of land. It was an incredible feat. And again, it had the same benefits as evolution. We lived longer, and our quality of life went up. It was a great success. But again, that wasn't good enough for us. We said, we want to do better. We want to live longer. We want a better life. And we said also, wouldn't it be cool if sitting here in Mexico City, I could talk to someone in China? Think about that biologically. Having a loud enough voice that you could scream and people in China would hear you. Take a lot longer than 3.4 trillion years to do that, I think. But again, we did it. We hacked evolution, and we found ways where right now, we're so used to it, but think about it. You could pick up a phone and talk to someone on the other side of the world. It's absolutely phenomenal. And again, with the information economy, with technology, with the web, quality of life for so many people went up, and lifespans went up. So the question I've been asking in my book and as I go around the world is the iPhone the end of human evolution? Are we done? Is this the end? Last stop on the train? Or is there more? Are there other ways that we could live longer, increase our quality of life? And as you look at the trends throughout the workforce, especially in the classes that are defining innovation and growth, as you look at consumption behavior, and as you look at what CEOs are doing to evolve their companies, it's very clear that the next stop on the train is about purpose. Purpose has been directly tied to increasing our lifespan. People who live and work with purpose live longer, and they have a substantially higher quality of life. And it's impacting every industry as CEOs learn that it's no longer enough to just be able to differentiate on efficiency and speed, that more and more people, especially millennials, are demanding and asking the question, what is the meaning of my life and how can I gain more meaning and fulfillment in my life? And as Chip Connolly will talk about tomorrow, and you guys are in for a treat, this guy is an amazing speaker, an amazing thinker. We are, as leaders, needing to be able to not just deliver the bottom of the pyramid needs to our employees, we need to help them find purpose, find a way to have work connect to fundamentally who they are as human beings. And that's the core thesis of my book, that we are, in the next few years, headed into an era in which purpose will define the difference between products, and it will radically change the workforce. And what I started to look at was purpose statements. A purpose statement is when someone creates a statement for themselves, typically a sentence, a couple sentences, that defines what their reason for being is, what their goal is in their work. What is it that defines success? It's much like an organization's mission statement or purpose statement. It defines your bottom line beyond money, what truly matters to you. How many of you have done a purpose statement for yourself? A statement about who you are? Awesome. A couple of you have. That means there's a lot of opportunity for a lot more of you to define at the core, not your purpose being, my purpose is to make as much money and climb the ladder. You know what happens when you do that? You get rich at the top of the ladder and are absolutely miserable, because that's not a true purpose. So as I studied thousands of purpose statements, what I saw in effective purpose statements, the statements that truly help someone decide what to do, and as importantly, what not to do. So that every day, as you have to face, whether it's small or large challenges in your career, you're able to make decisions aligned with who you are at your core. And what I saw was that all of these effective purpose statements had three variables that they all had in them. They defined who you seek to impact, why you work, why do you do this work thing, and how you work. How do you go about solving problems? How do you go about serving? It was remarkable how this pattern emerged just sort of out of all these statements. And what's more, as we looked at it, there weren't an infinite number of options to these answers. That we saw there were actually patterns behind how people define purpose. And that we actually all share a core sort of DNA around purpose that defines what's meaningful for us. And that when you know that, you can start to predict what work, what situations will actually enable you to find purpose.
Well, wasn't that impressive?